Today on the Charge Up, football comes home as we gear up for the Chargers home opener against crosstown rivals Southern Connecticut State. Volleyball begins their NE10 title defense and is off to a great start, while the men's and women's soccer teams seek a winning streak of their own. We'll also take a look at field hockey and tennis as they begin their season, and it's all going down on the Charge Up. It's season 2 of the Charge Up. I'm James Cassidy, and with this new season, we have the same cast of characters: Chris DiGeronimo, Devin Maida, and Eric Nybro. What's going on, guys? Also new for this season, we've got reporters to provide you with an even more in-depth coverage of your favorite Charger teams. So let's get to it. After defeating Pace last week, 36-10, the Chargers are preparing for their home opener against crosstown rivals Southern Connecticut State. We go to reporter Deshanae Andrews for more.
Practice makes perfect. The football team is nothing short of ready to take on crosstown rivals Southern Connecticut State Owls at our home opener on Saturday. After an outstanding performance by quarterback Ajay Patterson, the senior is looking forward to the energy the home crowd brings.
I mean, the atmosphere is crazy. I think we got the best atmosphere in NE10, so I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm ready.
For 10 straight years, the Chargers have dominated the Owls, keeping the Elm City Trophy at home. Separated by less than 3 miles, the crosstown rivalry turns up the intensity at every game.
We don't like Southern Connecticut very much. I think it's a pride thing. We play harder than them. It's a direct reflection on our school.
It's not all bad blood, though. Team leading tackler Jordan Franklin will be playing against a hometown friend.
One of my best friends from little. I know him all my life. He plays on Southern. So this will be like the last time we'll play each other for life. So it should be a good time. It should definitely be a good time.
The Chargers have been holding on to a 10-year winning streak against the Owls and look forward to keeping that momentum for an 11th win at the much-anticipated home opener. For Charger Bulletin News, I'm Deshanae Andrews.
Thanks, Deshanae. We look forward to your reports this season. Guys, what will it take this year for the Chargers to retain the Elm City Trophy against Southern?
I think an absolute dominant game from Ajay Patterson will help them win this game against Southern. It's very important to all of us as a campus and as a community, and I think he'll be the leader that leads us through.
Yeah, definitely. Against Pace last week, he had 305 yards passing, 28 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and also 1 rushing touchdown. So he was a really great contributor to that win overall.
Yeah, my man had a day, but also the Chargers ran for 181 yards and 35 attempts with 3 touchdowns, so they controlled the tempo of the game, the time possession, through that dominant ground game, which also helped the defense. My guys like Jordan Franklin, who won NE10 Defensive Player of the Week with 11 tackles, he had a nice interception as well. So with stout defense, and let's not forget they also shut out Pace in week 2 in the second half. That was huge.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a real balance on offense, defense, passing, rushing. And also on offense, with the injury to Devin Martin, we saw Juwan Williams step up, and he's averaging 155 yards per game, which is first in NE10.
Yeah, that was huge. We needed somebody to step up in that big play void that Devin Martin brought last year.
One of the best things I saw from the Chargers was in week 1 when they were playing the FCS school in Bryant. They actually competed with them, and they were able to. They led off the game with the kicker-off return for a touchdown, Bryant did, and they didn't get down at all. They kept competing, and they kept fighting all the way through the game.
Yeah, they didn't let it phase them. They just put it past them and got right to it and took care of business for the rest of the game.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a great start to the season, and it's a great way to segue into the matchup against Southern Connecticut. I did some scouting for Southern. Last week, they gave up a 16-point halftime lead, and then they gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter to blow the game, and they lost 24-22. So if we could keep up our composure, keep up what we're doing, I think we have a good shot again to beat them.
It really does look like the early signs on this team are trending well for a great season for the Chargers football team. With a win Saturday, the Chargers will tally 11 consecutive wins against the Owls of Southern Connecticut. Kickoff from Delacamera Stadium starts at 1 p.m. If you can't make it in person, the game will air locally on MyTV 9. With their victory against Assumption Tuesday, Chargers Volleyball has won 9 out of their last 10 games this season. Tonight, the ladies host American International at Charger Gymnasium. Our reporter, Zach Pinsons, has a preview.
I'm Zach Pinsons here at Chargers Volleyball practice, where they prepare for their match on Friday night against the American International College Yellow Jackets. The Chargers are 9-3 so far this season, but Coach Pago has even bigger goals for the team.
We have the goal of participating in the Any 10 Championship and winning, and participating in the East Region Championship and winning, and making it to nationals.
The Chargers Volleyball team is in their first year with Coach Pago at the helm. Christine expressed to us how it's been so far.
It's been really good. She's been my coach, setting coach specifically for the past 4 years since I was a freshman. She's been my mentor, so it's not very much different.
Chargers took home a big conference win on Wednesday against Assumption, but now they prepare for AIC on Friday night.
It'll be different, we're going to go back and watch them last year and how we did winning that game against them on the final championship match. And we'll practice that, see what their tendencies are, watch their hitters, and we'll practice our defense to play against their team specifically.
Christine gave us her opinion on Friday's match.
Just do what we usually do. We watch film, make a game plan, and we go by the game plan, and usually comes out good.
New Haven's won 17 straight regular season conference matches and will look to keep the streak alive on Friday. Thank you, Christine and Coach Pagos, for your time. Good luck on Friday against AIC. I'm Zach Pinsons with the Charge Up, signing off.
Thanks for the report, Zach. Guys, the ladies seem to be a well-oiled machine to start off this season.
They've been firing on all cylinders, and it seems like they haven't missed a beat since last season. Let's see what they can do to keep it going.
Yeah, they have a new coaching staff, and they're still firing all cylinders. As you said, they haven't missed anything, and just complete dominance, same as last season.
Yeah, one of the most important things I think we've seen is the emergence of Mallory Nowicki, and Christine Rios, the reigning NE10 setter of the year, is still absolutely dominating.
Yeah, we still have that core group from last year that brought it to the NCAA tournament, so that's huge. We're going to keep that going. And even against Southern, as a team, they had only 5 errors on 94 attempts, along with 44 kills against Assumption. Granted, Assumption is 0-6, but that's what a really good team like the Chargers has to do against the lesser teams. You got to get those winnable games and take care of business.
Yeah, and like you said, we kept the core together. So Lindsey Kim, Brandon Mermina, Christine Rios, Mallory Nowicki. As you said, she's 5th in the NE10 and with 3.26 kills per set. She's 5th also in the NE10 with 137 kills. And she's 3rd in the NE10 with the .354 hitting percentage. So she's really stepped up along with everybody else to get off to this hot start.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from Nowicki from the right side. She's been absolutely dominant. Let's not forget, Greathead's still here too. She's dominating on the outside.
Yeah,
the reigning NE10 Rookie of the Year too.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of award winners here, and it's all coming together.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept the core together because it really seems like the coaching change has not affected anybody. They're still, the culture's the same. They're keeping the dominant force going, and the wins will keep coming.
It really does seem that dominant culture that they've built over the many seasons before under Robin Salters has not changed one bit.
Nope.
Having Anna Paula Pago as the new head coach who coached under Salters definitely has been a great transition from Salters coaching. And this team, as you guys have all mentioned, it still has a lot of the key players from that last season where they made it to the Elite Eight in the entire country for D2. And it honestly looks like the volleyball team is still trending to be one of the top forces in the NE10 and in the country as a whole.
Yeah, also, they're off to a better start than last year too. So that's even more dangerous
huge,
to think about. It's crazy that they're off to an even hotter start than last year when they went undefeated in the NE10 and did all those great accomplishments.
Keep that high confidence high. They know how to deal with teams, and we got, like last year, expectations are still high, and I think these girls can live up to it.
Let's hope that they can keep on rolling. The Chargers have won 15 straight conference games extending from last season. Action against American International starts tonight up at Charger Gymnasium at 7. Men's soccer lost in overtime against crosstown rivals Southern Connecticut State Tuesday. That's 3 overtime losses within their first 5 games. How can the guys get back on track?
Well, there's a very veteran-heavy core of guys on this team. It's just unfortunate that they haven't put the chemistry together to get these wins. They need to avoid going to overtime. I think it's a start. I mean, that's easier said than done, of course, but They just gotta bring it together, and I think once they start playing more as a team and not relying on only a few guys, they'll get it together and the wins will come.
Yeah, speaking of the overtime losses, they're overtime losses, so you can't really go into the 5-game losing streak that well because they're still scoring, but they're not finishing.
Yeah.
So they lost 5 games in a row, but you can't read too much into that. So you just got to keep the offense going and just keep up the good morale, so hopefully they can get a win.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is them just keep they need to put the ball in the back of the net. They need to score. They've scored 6 goals in 5 games, and 2 of them have been penalties. So they need to score in open play and actually get some crosses into the box and finish them.
They've only played 1 conference game so far, so the season is still salvageable. So no need to get into panic.
No
right
panic.
now.
Yeah.
Just calm, relax, and just get back on track.
Very true. Hopefully the Chargers will be able to turn it around. Men's soccer will look to get their first win of the season when they travel up to Merrimack College Saturday. After winning 2 games to start the season, women's soccer lost their home opener against Southern Connecticut State 1-0 Tuesday. The Chargers are 2-2 heading deeper into conference play. What can they do to get back on their winning ways?
Very simply, someone besides Emily Morello needs to score.
Yeah.
So she has most of the goals on the season. Someone else has to step up and be the number 2 scorer.
Yeah, just like we talked about all last season with the women's lax team. It was only a few girls lighting it up, which was great. You want those girls to do that, but you need to spread it around. You have all these weapons all over the team. If you spread it out, then you become a 3-headed monster, 4-headed monster, so you can't stop them. Because they got a nice defense. They just gotta spread it around and keep it going.
Yeah, as you said, Emily Morello has 4 goals on the season, which is still tied for the first in the NE10. So if she could keep this up and obviously get everybody else involved, they have a chance to improve on the season.
Yeah, we got to stop relying on 1 or 2 players to carry the load on offense, because then they're going to get tired quickly, and then other teams it's going to be easier for them to game plan. You're just double team these players, take them out of the game, and then there goes our offense. So look to spread it around, keep that defense going, and the wins will continue to come as well.
Yeah, defensively, Paige Davis has kept them in the games most of the time. She's 30 in the NE10 with 26 saves.
Yeah.
So obviously, if she keeps this success up and helps us stay in the game, we should be good.
Yeah, starts with great goaltending, and then you move to offense, and then it all comes together.
Very true. Hopefully all these keys start to kick in for the women's soccer team. Women's soccer will take to the pitch Saturday when they host St. Michael's. Field hockey were also on the losing end of their home opener against Pace. In the team's 2nd season, what positives have you guys seen?
Well, they scored a goal, which is very important, which last year they could not do. But they finally scored a goal. They played competitive this week. That was a ranked team they played, and they were able to do okay.
And one of the big things is that this is almost a brand new team from last year. They brought in a lot of freshmen. It's not the same team from last year, so they're continuing to build this program in their 2nd year, and we showed some improvement last week.
Yeah, they're going to go through a lot of growing pains. I mean, since it's such a new program, you can't expect too much. You just want these girls to compete and show that they're here to stay in the NE10 and they can play. It's going to be tough for them. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better, but I have hope. They already scored a goal, they're already halfway from their goal total from last season, so already step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think a big key for this field hockey team is realizing that, yes, they're playing in the NE10, which is probably the most difficult conference for field hockey in Division II in the country. But I think that playing in the conference with all these freshmen, in the end, in a couple years, that this program could actually be one of the forces in the NE10. So I think that's really a big building block. So what do you guys see as some kind of advantages to playing such a difficult conference schedule with the field hockey team?
We're obviously getting the greatest competition in almost the country right now. So if you could take that beating and then take what you get from it, take the goods, take the bads, and bring it back on the field the next week, then that's definitely benefiting them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, like that old cliche, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So take your lumps now, and the program's only going to get better.
Yeah, this core is just going to keep growing and growing and growing because they're all going to do it together, and they're all got plenty of years left.
Yeah, start from the ground up and build it up to the top.
Exactly. Field hockey is still on the hunt for their first win in the program history. We'll see if they can get it when they're on the road this week. They play Malloy on Saturday. And finally, we turn our attention to tennis, whose match against Lemoyne was washed out due to rain this Wednesday. After their success last season, what can we expect from the ladies in 2018?
Well, we can expect them to be good again this year because they brought back basically the same team, just with 2 new additions. They brought in Laura Formoso, who's a graduate student, and then Nicole Mika, who's a freshman, and everybody else is the same. So obviously they're going to use them to build with this team, and they should be successful.
Yeah, it's nice for them to not have too much of a big transition of new talent, so they still got the same core. So that's a huge key to this team is they have the core that they've been winning with last year, and they're going to keep going now.
I think they gained some veteran leadership in the grad student in Laura, and she's now the #1 singles player, so hopefully she gets a couple wins and helps lead this younger core to victories.
I think you brought up an important point, adding Laura from Osel at the #1 singles, and then it's not like you had that bad of a team last year. We brought back the defending NE10 Rookie of the Year for tennis. So I really think the tennis team could actually be very competitive within the NE10 itself, and then further on. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, also they broke their win total too. They had 10 wins, which is the most in program history. So obviously they want to build on that and get more wins. Against Post last week, they swept the doubles matches. So obviously that's a good sign.
Yeah, you'd love to see that. Keep it going.
I think they can compete. I really do.
The ladies of the court will play in the ITA Regionals down in Flushing, New York this weekend. Well, that's it for our first show of the semester. Log on to newhavenchargers.com for more on your favorite Chargers teams and for live streaming of games. For up-to-date campus news, always go to chargerbulletin.com. For Daishanay Andrews, Zach Pinsons, and these fine gentlemen next to me, I'm James Cassidy, and we'll see you next week on The Charge Up.